my friends. This is Leona Dooley, and you are welcome into my kitchen at Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, where we work hard, we love God and family, and we know that the rest is just gravy. Tonight for dinner, we are going to be preparing a Thai tomato soup. And this is a little bit different. If you like coconut, a little hint of coconut, you're going to love this dish. Now, I have this dish on warm, and I'm going to melt a tablespoon of coconut oil. Now, you can substitute peanut or grapeseed or olive if you don't like coconut, but coconut really is the best option. So let's put in our coconut oil. We're going to let that melt. Then I'm going to add in about a half of a yellow onion. Okay, you'll see I have my onions in. I have a block of celery in because it called for some leeks, and I think the leeks would probably give it some nice color. The onions are actually going to take care of the flavor of the leeks, but I like a little celery in the soup. Then I'm going to add 2 minced cloves of garlic. All right, you'll see that I have my celery and my onions. They're going to break down. They're going to get nice and soft. And once they get nice and soft, then I'll start to add garlic and ginger and some pepper. We're going to be adding some red curry paste in this. We're also going to add some coconut milk, which is a little bit different. Just a tablespoon of packed brown sugar, a little bit of fish sauce, and this is going to be a delicious dish. All right, I added in 2 tablespoons of garlic into this mixture, and it's slowly coming up to a bubble. I'm going to add in a couple of teaspoons of minced ginger. Do that right here. One, 2. Then I'm going to add in, I'm not going to use any tofu or turkey or chicken. I'm not using any of that. I'm actually going to use a vegetable broth because we want this pretty tomatoey. And of course I could use a chicken broth, which would be fine. And if I get the veggie broth in there and it's not quite what I think it's going to be, I may certainly turn it around and throw a little chicken broth in there. But for now, we're going to try to keep it as a vegetarian option. So that's what we're going for. So let me get my spoon cleaned off there. Okay, now I'm going to put in a 28-ounce can of cubed tomatoes. Now at this point, I already know that I'll be able to go ahead and turn up my heat. I'm going to add it. That's the can of cubed tomatoes, and then I'm going to add in some tomato sauce. And I'll probably do a little mashing along the way, but I want a little body to my tomato soup. Okay, I got the tomatoes in there. And I'm going to let that come to a bubble, a little low bubble, and then I'll start to add more tomato to it. I have added in 1 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes. They've got basil, garlic, and oregano already in it. Basil, garlic, and oregano. So I added 1 can. I added in half a can, which would be, let's see, this is a 12-ounce, so let's say about 6 ounces of tomato paste. I think it gives it good consistency and just helps that soup come together. I also added in exactly 2 cups of tomato juice. And I'm letting that simmer here. I'm going to put it down so that it's not simmering. I want it to bubble, but not heavy, because I definitely don't want it to stick, because that wouldn't be good. Now, you know, I added in the ginger, got the garlic. I haven't put any salt in this at all. The salt is about to come. I am getting ready to add a tablespoon of fish sauce. And you know, fish sauce is very, very salty. So I'm using the spoon that I had my tomato paste in. I'm going to add in a tablespoon of fish sauce. That should be enough. Stir it gently, because that's going to add your salty base. If you find you need a little more, then just add regular salt. You will not want to add more fish salt. You have to be, or fish sauce. You have to be very careful with that, because you can certainly overdo it, and we don't want to do that. Now, I'm going to add in a tablespoon. I'm starting with a tablespoon of red curry paste. And the reason I'm using a tablespoon is because I have pretty much doubled this recipe. Now, if you wanted to turn this into more vegetables, you can certainly add additional vegetables to it and make a tomatoey vegetable soup. And that may be an option that you would like. But I'm going to continue to stir this until it comes up to a nice boil. I'm going to add in some pepper. I'm going to taste it in a little while. I do need a little bit of brown sugar. I really don't want it sweet, so I'm hoping that the brown sugar is just going to take the tang off of the tomatoes. I have a nice low simmer. Notice how pretty? It's a beautiful color. But I haven't put in the main ingredient, and that is the coconut milk. I'm going to add lime zest toward the end. Just before I serve it, I'll sprinkle that in, because you really don't want to cook that for a long time. All right, I'm starting with this is a teaspoon, just a teaspoon of brown sugar. The recipe actually said a tablespoon, but like I said, I don't want mine too sweet. So I am just starting with a tablespoon, and if that does it, then I will stop with the 1. If I need to go to 2, then obviously I will, but for the moment, I think I'm going to stop with just the 1. So I'm going to give that a couple of minutes, and then I'll taste it. Okay, I'm going to take a little taste just to see if I need to add more brown sugar. You know, to be honest with you, it's perfect for me. And I know hubby doesn't like his tomato soup too sweet. We don't want it to taste like Campbell's, because I do think Campbell's soup is just a little bit too sweet. But I think this is perfect. So I'm going to put the top on it and let it simmer. And this is our Wednesday night Thai tomato soup that we're preparing. Yummy, yummy. Looks great. And let's get ready. We're going to put 1 whole cup of light, and this isn't light, this is just organic, unsweetened coconut milk. You're going to need about a half can. Okay, everybody's in the pot except the lime zest. I'll do that last, but I'm going to put the top on it, turn it down on low, and just let it simmer. Sprinkled in the lime zest, and I'm going to add some lime juice. So let me get my juicer. I did one more. I'm actually doing one whole lime. Okay. And give it a good stir. Cut the heat back up just a little bit so it can get nice and hot. But you see how creamy it is? You see the creaminess of it? Smells wonderful. I'm going to taste one more time to see if I need any salt. I think we do. Just a little salt. I'm going to add just a little pepper also. And then we're finished. Oop. A little pepper. Now, of course, if you're a big fish sauce person, you could certainly add fish sauce. If you wanted more curry taste, you could add more curry, but we're not a big curry fan. We can take a little, but not a lot. So that's the reason why I kind of toned down the curry a little bit for us. But it's nice and creamy. Do not bring this to a hard boil. Just let it simmer slowly and on low until it comes up to temperature. I'm going to cover it back up. And when I take this top off again, we're going to be ready to put it in the bowls. Well, are you ready? Let's take the top off. Ooh, honey, it is bubbling. It's hot. I got the ladle. Mercy. That is some good tomatoes, homemade tomato soup. Now, could you have done this in a crock pot? Sure. But since I was at home, didn't have to go out today, I did mine right here on the stove. And it didn't take too long to get it all together. So, without further ado, let's get ready to plate it up. We're going to add some additional lime juice on top. Let me get my spoon. And I'm going to taste it for you because it's pretty hot. Oh my goodness. You can't get this in a can, honey. This is delicious. The hot bread is coming out of the oven. I'm going to have it so I can dip it into my soup. Man, this is going to be so good. So guys, I'm sorry, but I need to go finish this bowl of soup. So have a great evening.